it's really it's really tough for me to understand what's going on in the world. It's like, man, you know, people say, people are sheep. People, go to college because they want, a good job, education. It's really hard and difficult for me to figure out, like, how can we not recognize evil when we see it? Just talking about killing children in the womb or even outside of the womb is tough for me, man. Or talking about making a child, transgender, a little boy knows that it's a girl. Like, that stuff is hard, bro. Like, how do you even reconcile that? How do you say that that's even possible? How does a kid be able to make rational decisions? It's like they lowered the thought process of children so that they can criminalize people in certain parts of the world that have no way out. Say you grow up in a bad neighborhood and nobody on your block goes to school, and you just end up like them from lack of, exposure to the world, and you get caught up in it. Should you be judged off of that adolescent stuff? Like, some of our parents shouldn't even be talking from the stuff that they've probably done in the 70s and 80s. I just don't understand how we can even say a child knows what's best for it. If your kid, if you bring home food, and you set down candy next to vegetables and whatever is healthy for a child to eat, are you gonna allow the kid just to eat the candy and say, "Oh, the kid knows best"? How do we even sleep at night? Like, and who's these people that are having the children to even think that those decisions are even bright or the right path of a decision? It makes it harder and harder to believe people, man, that they, really want the best for mankind. How do we go into a country and kill people with no direct, enemy, but says, "Hey, I'm right here, I did it." At least in other wars we knew what the direct threat was. They just say Muslims, and then Muslims be like, we didn't do nothing. I don't even agree with what these people did. And people from those countries are not even saying that they did anything. The only one that I know that calls America the Great Satan over and over and nothing happens to them is, Iran. And it's like, who makes these decisions? And how do we get in a position to even decide what decisions are best for us? How do we get ourselves into a position to where we're not partaking in the ills or the conflicts that we don't want to partake in? Like, who is it that says we should make a law that prohibits people from growing their own food in their yards or backyards? And who co-signed it? Like, who goes to the farms and look at how they're killing animals, cows, sheep, chicken, or the humane ways of how these things are living? I mean, who even says, it's just crazy, who makes these decisions? People love to just say it's the devil. Like, how? How is it the devil that made you do something? How could he have that much power to make someone do something? This goes back to like the video I made the other day. Like, we don't believe James Bond villains are real. You know, we don't believe in super villains that would fund, a project of, killer robots or killer anything. Why don't we question this stuff? How are we comfortable with this stuff? I don't know. It's awkward. It's really awkward. Like, you go into, neighborhoods and be like, who pulled the funding for this neighborhood? Who's the one that's supposed to, like, fix the streets or fix the street lights or fix the wiring so that, people don't get electrocuted? Or a lot of this shit is weird. And it's like, people be like, well, what are you doing? Well, what can I do if I'm poor and I have nothing to really give? Like, I don't have any money I'm able to save anybody with. I don't know. A lot of that stuff is extremely awkward to me, man. You can't even really bring it up to people that consider themselves well versed in the world, because they're like, the only thing that matters is putting food on the table. And I get it. In this time, we need to be acquiring Federal Reserve notes to even survive, but why can't we work in unison? A lot of shit is weird, bro.